Remember this tweet we shared a while ago? I was talking about the significance of a $30,000 Bitcoin and the fact that we're above it. Things really look bullish and rosy at this stage. So it asks the question, the reason why I'm saying this, should we get ready? Is the alts going to blow up? So we're looking at the dominance today. And then in addition to this, I've got some altcoins that I've marked up for you guys that we're going to be going through. So stay tuned for that as well. Do your hodl bag a favor and subscribe today. Double down, hit that like and notification icon, and let's get charting. Bitcoin going up while the dominance is going up. So it supported the idea that although alts might give us some gains, investor-wise, Bitcoin is going to be the better performing asset. Now, if we look at the dominance today, and the argument that I'm trying to make with you guys is to say that we're at a critical inflection point or pass point within crypto and alts at this stage. What do we know? Well, typically, if price, and let me just bring up this chart, if price goes and makes a higher high, and the oscillator does the opposite, it tells us that there's a reversal coming. So if we go back to Bitcoin where we are now, and we look at the dominance, the argument is I would want to see something like this. So dominance, the price or the percentage of dominance is making a higher high. Check, that's there. Okay. Now what I want to see is whether the RSI is doing the same. Not yet. Okay. So are we going to see alt season? In my opinion, no. But can we have, sorry guys, this microphone wire is making me crazy. Can we have a micro alt season? Definitely. There is some evidence for that. But what needs to happen for this micro alt season to really kick in? Well, you just need to keep your eyes on the dominance. If we fall below 51%, that's going to set us up for a nice move. If we go to Bitcoin dominance on the daily time frame, you can see that there is divergence. And that's why I'm thinking micro alt season, not massive alt season, because ultimately this is only halfway down. Bitcoin is so big, alts are so small. At this stage, a little bit of dominance in their favor is going to do us well. So if you look at this one real quick, I want to just show something to you guys. Give you a nifty little trick before we go on. When we look at this, we'll use the RSI to kind of guide to see what type of waves we have. So there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-wave structure. Why? Well, typically, there's the bearish divergence signaling the top. There's mid-range divergence and. Okay. This low didn't go below that high. So there's a 4 to a 1, hidden bullish divergence, and so forth. So at this stage, when we look at Casta, it's still going to go higher. Now, let's look at this from a correction point of view real quick. After every 5 waves, we know that correction-wise, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3-wave correction within price, that kind of lines up. And then this is the beauty about this. When we look at an impulse in move, it's normally 5 waves, like it just showed you there, 5 sets of price action to the upside. The RSI tells us that beautifully. So if this is the case, what do we have? How many move waves do we have at the moment? 1, 2, there's still more coming. Okay, so looking at Kaspa from this point of view, yes, it's up a lot. There's a lot going for it. But at this stage, it's not giving me anything to say that it needs to exit just yet. There is no divergence. There is nothing. Now, this can give us a blow off top, meaning it just falls like this. But that's a very unlikely pattern that happens. It seldom happens just out of the blue. So what you can do with your Kaspa, just keep an eye on it. All you need to do, keep an eye on it. You can flip to a 4-hour time frame should you want, but now you're not investing anymore. Now you're trading. And just keep an eye on this point here, because you can see what it is doing, though, is it's telling us that it's creating what? Strong bearish divergence. It's fallen below the critical support level. So the beginning of the correction is potentially there. It means what? There's going to be some sort of a corrective pattern testing the previous support level or resistance level that's now has to be turned into support. That's all. A, B, C, or however it's going to look. And then from that point onwards, there's maybe another last ditch hurrah that's going to drive this thing even higher. And it's at that stage where we're going to be looking for divergence between these 2 points, as well as divergence between those 2 points to see whether there's an exit. Let's talk about this. We've had a really bullish weekly close for Bitcoin, and I need to do this chart with you real quick to say to you how significant the alts will be. So we're already 10 minutes in, so I'm going to be brief for this. When we have a weekly close and a loss of momentum and something like this, what does it give me? It gives me the opportunity now to say, okay, right, where would price want to reload? It's using the same strategy that we used there, okay? We had a sideways range. We broke out of the range. Where would price want to reload? And the beauty is that there's confluence, meaning the upper end of this range was sitting there. The lower end of that range was sitting there. So if I were to move to a daily time frame, what you will see is upper end of range, lower end of the range, divergence. Once we're out of the range, couldn't beat it, and it sold down. Divergence, couldn't beat it, sold back down. Okay, so that being said, what do we have here? Got an upper end of the line, and what happened then? I'm going off topic here. What happened then? We created a big power candle, basically drove through everything that was a lateral range, leaving the range. And it's at the 50% mark of these power candles where we would typically see the bullish sentiment come back into the market, which it did. So now what we've done is we've done exactly that. Exactly what happened there, exactly what happened there, exactly what happened there. We've now created that big bullish move. We've left the range, and guess what? We've got the same confluence. Upper end, lower end of the range is there. Let's delete that one. And the midpoint is above the upper end of the range, which means there's a clearly defined line. At some stage, price is going to come and visit this range, 31K. And it's at that stage where things, I'm going to buy back the alts I sold. I'm going to buy back everything that I did there for more, with noting the risk. If I'm wrong, price is going to fall back to this midpoint, bounce back to this area where I bought, and I can get out again with minimal loss. It's all about managing risk. So the Dixie, a while ago, it was saying that the Dixie was trending up very strong. When it goes up strong, Bitcoin doesn't do well, okay? And when it breaks down, Bitcoin does do well. So this kind of sets the tone that there's more upside for Bitcoin coming in. Hence the fact that even if we retrace, even if this retrace happens from where we are now, 35, all the way back down to 31, with the Dixie being a range lower than what it was, it is forming a downward trend, meaning the Dixie is not doing this. Broken trend, and any upside now is trying to confirm the fact that it wants to go down. It's just on a smaller time frame. Okay, so this is really positive. Now, if you look at the legacy markets, just to see if there's any confluence around this, I said to you guys, beginning of last week, said, this is bullish. Bullish legacy market means bullish Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin's just gone sideways. It was no bullish, okay? But it accelerated up. Now, what do we have? We've got hidden bearish divergence in some instances. Some of them, and some of them don't. Meaning, some of the US 30 pairings have them and some don't. Depends on the wicks and the closing prices and how everything happened. So this week is kind of going to be the tone. Is the Dixie going to sell off? Because we're at that reload zone. Remember, big power candle, 50%. We're at that reload zone now. So if the Dixie wants to continue down lower, I'm going to move this 50% FIB. This is where the line in the sand has to be drawn. This then means that this hidden bearish divergence that's there, which in some instances have been deleted and some don't, needs to get deleted within the next day. So there you can see S&P 500 still not quite there. US 30, it's there. Let's have a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, hidden bearish divergence is there. So there's a little bit of pressure that's going to enter the market now. People that think there's more downside is going to put their money where their mouths are and short. And if they're wrong, their stops will drive the sentiment higher. It will drive Bitcoin higher. It will drive the alts higher. And if the dominance does what I'm hoping it will do, break below this 50%, it tells us that we might have this little micro alt season. Okay. Guys, today's video is sponsored by Bybit. I just want to say shout out to Bybit for sponsoring today's video. Open your account, links in the video description, and get first-time deposit bonuses, guys, up to 30,000 Rand that they will give you. No questions asked for depositing there. So make use of these deals. The thing about trading spot, maybe before I do this, just real brief. When you trade spot, your time horizon is months. You don't trade spot, meaning you're buying physical an altcoin. You don't buy it for today to sell it tomorrow. That's stupid. That's why leverage trading is there. That's why we trade leverage in the leverage group. This is swing and spot increase. That's the mindset behind this. So what was said here? Let's quickly have a look at this. Okay. So it said, any buys at $12 could be good and can be seen as a good long-term grade. And if we go below 11, Solana's going to sell off. Okay. What did Solana do? Let's quickly go and have a look at that chart. So this was the date. Got it marked out for you guys. That was the date. I'm just going to get to the daily time frame. Things weren't looking bullish that day. You can agree. Things were looking bearish, and that's when we bought. Said, that's the buy zone. That's the reason to buy, and I gave you a clear line in the sand. I said, that's it. And where we are now, things are looking bullish. Now, all I'm saying is, it's not over yet, but look at this. Things are now slowly turning. Price is going higher, but the RSI isn't. All that this means, guys, is when price goes higher and the RSI doesn't, it just tells us that the attitude of your fellow traders, think of this RSI as a trader indicator of how they're feeling. They are feeling less confident that there's going to be more, and they're being a little bit more cautious. One way. Another scenario is everybody that did buy bought. Then it can't go up anymore, which means the little bit that is going up now is latecomers, and those normally are the ones getting punished really hard. That's all that this is saying. But in order for us to know how to act on this, I've given you guys many tricks. One being, when you have divergence like this, what you do is you put a little horizontal line there at that highest point, and you say, I only take this serious once the time frame I've got it on is opening and closing candles below that line. So for now, Solana, more upside, enjoy it. Now, these are the ones that I really wanted to share with you guys. So we're going to look at BNB. So when we look at the heat map, BNB hasn't done anything yet in the last year. So a trader needs to always look at something and say, I want to buy it when other people don't want it. That's the real way of saying I'm buying low, selling high. For it to be low, the majority should not want it. So let's have a look at BNB. So this is the idea I'm going to share with you guys. BNB on the daily has been doing this now for forever. When it sold off, it held extremely strong. It sold off in the 70%, just like Bitcoin. But when Bitcoin started rallying, but BNB didn't have its moment. It didn't shine. So long-term wise, retail is going to really start getting bearish on BNB when it's there. So really good upside for us. I mean, that's a nice 130%. Short-term, BNB is going to have resistance met there at $300. And where we are now at this stage, we are making higher highs, no divergence just yet. So if price goes, Bitcoin goes back down to where I think it's going to go. 31 is the range low, and then go on higher to push to 42K. It's going to give this thing the fuel to go either here or there. Oops, move that line there. A or B. That's what it's going to do. So our job is to be patient. When it comes back down to these ranges, grab a buy. Trading it for these ranges here. 300 thereabout. 300 as a start, and then heading over to about 450. Now, what will happen? MB does this. Remember, this is your opponent. This is how they're thinking, so you need to think like them. They're looking at this saying to themselves, oh, it's already broken out. I'm buying now. So they just need to lose it first. That's when that happens. So it's either going to bounce there, it's going to bounce here. There's the area. Boom, there we're going to go. So keep an eye on this. Okay. Let's quickly have a look at XRP. XRP, same thing. When it comes back down, same place, same analysis. I don't need to drag it out. Same analysis. 54. I'm going to try and trade it to $1. I'm going to keep an eye on that. So keep an eye on that with me. Dot, last one. Dot, same thing, guys. Look at this chart. This is what your opponents are looking at. They're looking at this and saying, oh, it's going to be. So where it's at now, expect more upside. Why? Because it needs to potentially go there. Anything between these 2 points, where it's at now, can be considered a short sell zone. The risk is for those that don't sell. You can farm. I actually marked this as a farming line for you guys. You can see. Sell some, because what is the risk? Dot wants to do this once more. There's no hype behind it at the moment. Wants to do this once more, it can. And I have so much more dot, 40% more dot. If I'm wrong, what will it do? I'll sell some, we'll break higher, and then when it comes back to test, I'll grab that. So it's a win-win. I win either way. I'm cheating the system. You need to cheat it with me. Okay. That's the last one, Litecoin. So we're looking at Litecoin. What did we say? When Litecoin was pumping, I said, guys, there's a halving coming. There's the Litecoin halving. It was the 6th of August. So this is a scenario where you trade the event. Trade the rumor, not the event, meaning sell before the halving, because that's when it moved. And I gave you guys these divergence levels, and I told you to get out. So now where we're at now, we're at the high point again. But Litecoin has now gone through all this. So it's going to create a new range. There's already a range low for us. So with Litecoin, there's a real good potential for a nice big low liquidity pump back up to where? The area where we lost the biggest amount of price action right there. Now, looking at this from a momentum point of view, what has Litecoin done? It's broken momentum, created additional momentum, broke that. So everybody's going to be looking at this and saying, putting the line in however they would want, saying, well, this is looking good. So retail's going to do this. They're going to say, well, there, highs got above it. They're going to be comfortable buying. So you need to just wait for the fear, and then we can grab it with them. Okay, cool. That's about everything, guys. Guys, for the rest of you guys, head over to YouTube, head over to Discord. All these charts will be posted in the Discord channel. And make sure to hit the like and subscribe, and give me a comment there. I really do appreciate that. Tell me maybe which coins you want to have a look at afterwards, what I can maybe chart for you guys on the upcoming streams. Remember, there's no YouTube tomorrow. But tomorrow I want to invite you guys to come trade live with me in the Discord. So what I will do is I'll give special permission for everybody that's there that wants to join. I'll give them a role, and they can actually come and trade with us. I want to be trading. Wednesdays is my trading day. That's basically that. So then you guys can come and trade with me. So the long is moving up nicely. We're breaking out of these highs. We're pretty close to where I'm looking to short again. So fingers crossed for everybody in the Discord, and for everybody that was watching the YouTube that was trading live with me, you know where to go. Go back to the Discord. I'll share my screen and we can go trade some more. The rest of you guys have a lovely day. And as always, keep hustling, guys.